The morning ritual. It's early. You stumble into the bathroom, eyes half closed. You grab your toothbrush, squeeze that familiar tube, and there it is. A shiny, fresh streak of toothpaste. Minty, creamy, just the right amount. You never think about it, but at that moment, you're taking part in a ritual performed billions of times a day around the world. That single streak of toothpaste, it has a story. A story of innovation, science, massive factories, and microscopic ingredients. Today, we dive into the world of Colgate, the most well-known toothpaste brand on Earth. We'll discover how that little tube of promise is filled. From raw material to radiant smile, this is the story of toothpaste. It all began in 1873. Colgate introduced its first toothpaste, not in a tube, but in a glass jar. At the time, oral hygiene was barely taken seriously. Dentists were rare and brushing was often done with salt or charcoal. But Colgate had a vision. They wanted dental care to be accessible and appealing. By adding menthol, the paste gained a fresh taste that lingered. The modern tube wasn't introduced until 1896, inspired by paint tubes. What many people don't know is that Colgate's leap into toothpaste was far from obvious. In the 19th century, oral hygiene was a luxury something for the upper class. Colgate, then a soap and starch manufacturer, decided to take a risk in 1873. They created a cream for your teeth. No idea if people wanted it, but what helped was the scent. The mint was so refreshing that customers assumed it had to work. And once Colgate packaged the product in a clean glass jar and began advertising it as scientifically tested, there was no turning back. Behind the scenes, the tone was set. Science sells whether it's truly scientific or not. Today, Colgate accounts for over 40% of the global toothpaste market. From New York to Nairobi, people everywhere squeeze that same recognizable red and white tube. But what's actually inside? Colgate toothpaste is made from a carefully crafted blend of science and flavor. The base is water and an abrasive, usually silica or calcium, carbonate to scrub away plaque. Then comes fluoride, the secret weapon against cavities. It strengthens enamel and reduces sensitivity to acid. Next are thickeners like cellulose gum to give the paste its body. Flavorings provide that fresh sensation, mint, peppermint oil, or artificial variants. And then there are foaming agents like sodium lauryl sulfate that make it foam nicely, even if that doesn't directly clean your teeth. Everything must be perfectly balanced. Not too thick, not too thin, not too harsh, not too bland. Each variant from Colgate Total to Max White has its own formula tailored to its target, audience, and marketing promise. In Colgate's factories, everything is about precision. Raw materials arrive in massive silos and are weighed down to the exact gram. First, the liquid base is created, water, fluoride, and thickeners are combined in a huge mixer. Next, abrasives are slowly added under vacuum to avoid air bubbles. Large mixing arms rotate in a calm but powerful motion until the mixture is uniform. Then come the aromas and flavorings, like a perfumer adding the finishing touch. Temperature is strictly controlled. Too hot, the paste loses structure. Too cold, it won't blend. Well, after mixing, the toothpaste is emulsified, meaning ingredients are bonded at a microscopic level to prevent separation. The result? A smooth, shiny toothpaste that feels, smells, and works the same every single time. Once the toothpaste is ready, it's packaged. Empty. Tubes often made from a mix of plastic and aluminum arrive in long rows at the filling machines. Each one is filled in a fraction of a second with the exact right amount of paste. Then the bottom is sealed using heat or pressure, and each tube receives a batch code so the origin is always traceable. Next comes the label. At Colgate, brand recognition is everything. The iconic red and white design, the slogan, and sometimes extra claims like clinically proven or 24-hour protection. The tubes are placed into boxes, scanned automatically, and stacked onto pallets ready to be shipped to supermarkets around the world. Although Colgate operates globally, preferences vary greatly by region. In India and Southeast Asia, you'll often find spicy paste with neem or clove. In Japan, people prefer milder flavors, while Americans love strong and foamy. In Africa, Colgate often offers basic variants without fancy additives, affordable and functional. And in Europe, the demand for natural toothpaste is rising with charcoal, herbal extracts, or even fluoride-free options. In total, Colgate produces hundreds of variants, tailored to the taste, habits, and health standards of each country. Yet that familiar foundation remains: a tube, a promise, a fresh feeling. Manipulation in a white coat Colgate may be the market leader, but the competition is fierce. Major rivals like Oral-B, Sensodyne, and Aquafresh do everything to stand out. Oral-B leans into technology. Smart brushes and toothpaste with whitening crystals. Sensodyne focuses on sensitivity with clinical trials and dentist endorsements. Aquafresh goes for visual impact, that iconic red-white-blue swirl. But Colgate leans on its legacy, its global presence, and decades of brand loyalty. Commercials always feature a smile, a family, and a promise of certainty. In the 1950s, Colgate pulled off a masterstroke: the white coat. In TV ads, respectable men with clipboards and stethoscopes declared, 9 out of 10 dentists recommend Colgate. But behind that claim was a survey conducted by Colgate itself. Dentists received free samples in chache, brochures, pens, and even compensation for participating in studies. The questions were leading, and it worked. People trusted the white coat and therefore Colgate. The global toothpaste market is worth billions. Colgate-Palmolive alone makes over $15 billion in annual revenue, much of it from oral care. In 2014, Colgate came under fire for one of its top products. This toothpaste contained an antibacterial agent called triclosan, long promoted as a breakthrough in oral care. But independent research revealed that triclosan might disrupt hormones and affect the immune system with long-term use. When Bloomberg journalists requested evidence of triclosan's safety, Colgate pointed to an internal study from the 1990s, a study that had never been publicly released. Only after pressure from the FDA and public outrage was it disclosed. What did it show? That at high doses, triclosan might pose health risks. Still, Colgate kept using it for years while competitors quietly removed it. In 2019, under public pressure, Colgate finally eliminated triclosan from all their toothpaste without ever officially admitting it was harmful. Lawsuits across the US with consumers accusing Colgate of deception. The core claim that the brand had used the phrase clinically proven safe while relying on outdated, self-funded studies. Fluoride has long been the gold standard in oral care, but the debate is more complicated than it seems. In 2015, the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, decided to lower the recommended fluoride level in drinking water due to concerns about fluorosis in children. White spots on teeth caused by overexposure to fluoride. This decision followed years of research, partly funded by independent academic institutions. But behind the scenes, big players like Colgate and other members of the American Dental Association lobbied heavily against changing fluoride standards in toothpaste. Documents later released through Freedom of Information Act requests showed that these lobby groups had influenced scientific panels, delayed reports, and financially supported experts who publicly defended fluoride, shaping the debate in their favor. A pattern? These aren't just isolated incidents, they reveal a pattern. Like with sugar, tobacco, or oil, the personal care industry constantly balances health, profit, and transparency. Colgate is no exception. The brand invests millions in innovation, but also in marketing and influence. And while the product you squeeze on your toothbrush every day may seem safe, it carries with it a long political history. In recent years, DIY toothpaste has gone viral. On social media, a bit of baking soda, some coconut oil, maybe peppermint drops, and you're done. No fluoride, no foam, no hard-to-pronounce ingredients, just pure, natural, homemade. Health stores capitalize on this trend with ready-made alternatives. Blends of charcoal, clay, herbs, and essential oils, often with the promise, no fluoride, no nasties. Sounds like the healthiest choice, but is it really? Dentists are skeptical. Homemade pastes often lack essential fluoride protection, Some are too abrasive and damage enamel. Others are unstable, separating, spoiling quickly, or losing effectiveness. And when it comes to natural brands, there's a catch there too. While commercial toothpastes like Colgate are criticized for synthetic additives, natural alternatives are barely regulated. Some contain harsh abrasives, others don't protect against decay. In multiple cases, brands were caught mislabeling ingredient concentrations because no one is checking. So now the toothpaste world is split. On one side, tightly regulated giants with scientific credentials and a clear commercial agenda. On the other, unregulated natural alternatives with their own ethical gray zones. Which is better? That depends on your trust in science, in brands, or in yourself. But one thing's for sure, a simple streak of toothpaste on your brush is no longer simple. It's a choice between control and freedom, between marketing and intuition, between what we know and what we hope is true. Smart, sustainable, and controlled? What if your toothpaste wasn't just a product, but a personalized formula based on your DNA, your saliva, even your breakfast? Sounds futuristic. That's exactly where the industry is headed. Major brands like Colgate are betting big on personalization. Think smart toothbrushes that track your habits via apps. AI-driven formulas tailored to your sensitivities or enamel condition. Refillable capsules like a coffee machine, dispensing the perfect dose each morning. Even color-changing pastes that reveal acidity or plaque levels in your mouth. As tech evolves, so does packaging. Transparency 2.0 is the buzzword. QR codes that let you trace every ingredient, every step. It sounds like an open book, but there's a catch. In 2022, reports surfaced showing that multiple major personal care brands, including dental care, based their traceability systems on unverified internal data. Instead of real transparency, tech was being used to create a new kind of trusted illusion. Polished dashboards, sleek apps, impressive figures, all without independent oversight or full disclosure. And that raises a bigger question. It's no longer just about what's in your toothpaste. It's about who decides what you're allowed to know. In a world where everything is smart and connected, you might want to ask yourself, is that smile in the mirror really your choice? Or one made by an algorithm? Toothpaste is no longer just fresh, it's high-tech. And that little tube? Soon, it might know more about you than you know about it. The mirror doesn't lie, and there you are, morning after morning. In the mirror, toothbrush in hand, foam on your lips. Maybe you're thinking about work, your day, your plans. But rarely do you think about the journey your toothpaste has taken. Now you know, behind that fresh minty scent lies a world of science, factories, innovation, and history. Colgate isn't just a brand. It's a promise to you, your smile, your day ahead. So next time you twist that cap and squeeze a streak on your brush, remember, this is more than brushing. It's a moment of care for your health, for your story. This was a Product Vision original. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and most importantly, keep smiling.